guys, this is JV3 and we are back with another episode of FIFA 20 Career Mode Youth Edition featuring Scunthorpe United, and we are here, we are into the off season. We'll go through a recap of all the stats, we'll take a look at some of the other leagues here in England, we'll take a look at the tables, and then we will move on, we'll scout some more players, bring them in, we'll get through preseason, and we'll get ready for our first season in the Premier League. So let's get started. Let's take a look at some of the players' stats. So it is a Golden Boot winner on 39 goals and 46 matches. George Wood right up there though, had a chance at 30 goals and just couldn't break through, but we had Conceição and Wang all in the top 10, and we probably don't have a single other person even close here in the top scorers. So let's take a look at the assist. And it is George Wood, 23, Conceição on 20, Wang on 12. I mean, a great season for the assist men. We had Manelik and Marchenko both on 10. And I mean, good years for them. Wish Manelik maybe scored some more just for all his efforts, but couldn't get it done. And clean sheets are, I mean, far and few between. Aston Villa had 22 clean sheets. I mean, you had 9, and that puts them in the top 10, and there's definitely no one else in there. So let's take a look at our players here throughout the whole team. So we'll take a look here, and it is George Wood on 30 goals. We already saw that. Rae-Sung Wang on 21. And the next closest is Guzman with 6, which is impressive because he only played 27 appearances and probably had, most of those coming off the bench. He never really got any starts. We had Bailey on 5, Marchenko on 4, Jelen on 10 appearances had 3 and 3. So he's definitely one to watch for the future. Cordoba, not much from him. So he might be, if he complains about playing time, might be one that we see out with only 2 goals and 3 assists and a fair amount of appearances too. We had Manelik on 4, but he had 10 assists. So we'll take a look at those assists too, so we can kind of see who they came from. And it's not much different. It's the top players that we already saw. And then, Cordoba on 3, Valle, who had 2 and 2. So not bad. Most of those coming off the bench as well. Davies had 2. So that will do it. And clean sheets. Do we have any goalkeepers in here other than Yejit? Vera had a clean sheet in his 1 appearance here in the league. So good for him getting that done. And I don't think we had anyone else or any other goalkeepers on the roster. Sir had 1 appearance but didn't get a clean sheet. And that will do it for us here as far as stats go for the championship season. So we'll take a look at the table here in the Premier League at what we might come up against. And 80 points looks like it could get us to Europe. There's a big drop off though between 6 and 7. 53 points is Leicester City. So if we can shoot for that 60-70 mark, we might have a chance. I mean, obviously Man City ran away with it. Only the 1 loss, no draws, and 37 wins. An unbelievable season for them. And Liverpool right there getting in at number 2. We'll take a look at some of these other teams as there's a big drop off. So a big kind of separation between the lower teams and the upper teams there. We'll see who gets relegated. It's going to be Palace, Fulham, and West Brom. Stoke City just staying up after that incredible year in the championship last year. We saw 120 points, and we'll move on. We'll take a look at League One, see who might be coming up through the ranks. It's Queen's Park Rangers, Luton Town, a great season there, 108. So not as, it's closer to more realistic than what we've seen as far as 100+ points for some of these teams. Forest Green Rovers in there, still up from League 2. We'll see who might be going back down. Wycombe Wanderers down to League 2. Tough loss for them. Burton Albion and Swindon Town on 7. So that's the one you kind of want to see a little bit better. I mean, they don't get a single win. I mean, some of these lower level leagues are just so close. You'd think they'd get at least 1 win. So, it's better. It's not perfect than some of the ones we've seen in the past. Definitely better than the championship we had to deal with this year. And this is where it goes crazy again. Rotherham on 130 points, unbeaten through the season. Blackpool on 106, and then Salford City finally getting out of League 2 on 90. Or actually, I don't know. They would have had to win the playoffs. So 95 points sees you into the playoffs. Let's see. Do we have Carlisle United on 12? So kind of surprising that you have a team that's unbeaten. You don't have a team that's super low, but That takes a look at England. It's a crazy one. Let's take a look at some of these. Do we have some of the other leagues? No, we don't. We'll have to go to the other screen and we'll take a look at Champions League and some of these other competitions here in England and Europe. So we'll take a look at the FA Cup, and is Liverpool grabbing the FA Cup over Man City, even though, I mean, they got the Premier League title, but I guess, a little silverware for Liverpool never hurt. And we'll take a look at the Carabao Cup, see what happened there. And it's Liverpool grabbing that one as well. Another trophy for them into the cabinet. We'll take a look at some of these Champions League, see where they ended up. And it's Atletico Madrid beating out Man City, still knocking them off, not giving them a chance to win the championship for Pep Guardiola. And we'll take a look at Europa League, see what happened there. And it's Arsenal grabbing the Europa League title here in 2023, I think is what we're in now. And that will do it for the competitions. So we'll take a look at a squad review here. It's George Wood now all the way up to potential to be special. We've been training him, but mainly just on pace, just trying to get him a little faster. So that's the +6. We see Oscar Jackson, potential to be special, +7 up to an 82. Conceição, 81, up 5 to potential to be special as well. Yijit, potential to be special, up 6 to an 81, and that's with no training, so we're happy to see that. Hung, potential to be special, +6 up to an 80. We've given him and Jackson a fair amount of training just because we saw the defensive awareness was still below a 70, even though they were 80 or 70 plus overall. So been giving them a little bit of training. Awazi, potential to be special, up to an 80 overall. Wang, potential to be special, up 5 to a 78. Cordoba, potential to be special, up 4 to a 77, but just has not been playing great as of yet. Potential to be special for Manelik as well, up 4 to a 77. Marchenko, +5 to a 77 as well. And why do we have him lone listed? We got to remove that. Oh, it's because he was asking for timeout because he wasn't getting enough playing time, but we fixed that by putting him into every single game, and he's really played well now. An exciting prospect, though. Alan Vick, potential to be special, +5 to a 75. Might have to get him some training for the Premier League. We have Patera up to a potential to be special, +6 to a 74. We've been giving him quite a bit of training just because we need another scorer out of the 3. We also have Dylan Bailey, potential to be special, +3 to a 74. Might have to give him some training as well for the Premier League. We have Okora, no potential, but up to a 72. A good left and right back off the bench. We have Davies still at a potential to be special, +5 to a 72. Segura showing great potential, +5 to a 72. Guzman, an exciting prospect, up to 71. And then we have Tibor Jelen, who's up to a 70, but he will be leaving the club. With Patera, he's not going to get a whole lot of playing, and Jelen is right behind him here, is Bolazov Jelen here, who's also showing great potential, is a real good player, can really score. If we give him some training, he could definitely be a backup cam. We have Vera, who's showing great potential, +5 to a 70 overall. Jose Henriquez, +4 to a 70, no potential though. Valle, no potential now, +4 to a 69. We have Solomon showing great potential, +7 to a 68. TSA will be leaving on a loan, +2 to a 68. Austin Aguero, no potential, +3 to a 68. Telmo Rodriguez will be leaving the club, but he's up to a 67. Surer, potential to be special, kind of surprising here, but another goalkeeper that we can rely on, +3 to a 67. Richter, a potential to be special, +2, 67, just came into the club. Teixeira, a exciting prospect, up 5 to a 66. Durante, who just came in as well, potential to be special at a 66. Zarella, no potential. That's kind of fallen off. He's up to a 66 though. Johannes Gustafsson is still out on loan, but he's up to a 65. Bauman, a 64, an exciting prospect. He just came into the club as well. Dave Frazier's, who we just brought in, an exciting prospect. And Ponce will be leaving the club. Ramirez is on loan, still up to a 63. Jay Baker, potential to be special. We just brought him in as well, 60 overall. And then we have Aiden Davies, who will be leaving the club, +2 to a 60 overall. And that will do it for the squad report. So we will move into the preseason and we'll see what we do. We'll roll out the starters here to get started, and it is a 1-0 loss. Manelik picking up a red card. And we'll get into our second preseason matchup, this time with the Cup squad, and see if they can get a victory. They can't. 2-0, down they go. And what could be our final matchup here in the preseason, we go 2-2 and finally grab a point here in the preseason. But that will do it for us here in the tournament. So we are here in our second month in Austria, and it's brought back a couple players here in Anton Damir, who we will take a look at, but we won't bring in yet. We'll hold for another month. And then we have Dieter Huber, 53-67, 74-94, but his evaluation's still kind of low. He's still probably not at a 60 overall, so we'll hold for another month. So we are here in Peru, and it hasn't brought back much this month. No real players here with any real potential, so we'll hold on for another month, see what we bring back here in the third. And we are here in Canada for our second month, and it hasn't brought back much. Similar to Peru, no players with real potential, so we'll hold for another month. So we have sold Johannes Gustafsson. He's just, it's just a circumstance of having too many midfielders that, have either better potential or better overall. So he never really got a chance to shine here. So we'll move him out. He won't qualify for the reject list, though, unfortunately not making an appearance here with Scunthorpe United. And we have also loaned out Zarula. Similar. Just a lot of center backs. We want to try and get everyone playing time, so we will loan out Zarula as well. So as we get ready for the season, we'll also take a look at the reject list so far. It's Carson Gauthier at a 56, Jihu Jill still at Port Vale at a 58, Thomas Gauthier a 62 overall, Isaac Davis a 62 overall at Accrington Stanley, Sung-Soo Oh at a 62, Harry Bliska at a 63 with Bolton, Adam Michaels still at a 63 overall. Johannes Gustafsson actually did make 10 appearances, and I don't even remember when they were so long ago. 65 overall, though, will make the reject list. We have Elliot Harris, the goalkeeper, still at Cheltenham Town at a 66, Shigari at a 66 overall, Picorni a 66 overall, Christian Lopez a 66 overall, Visnij a 67, Thomas Rogerson a 67 overall, Akin Batur a 67 overall, Vergara a 67, Telmo Rodriguez, who just left, is a 67, Giacomo Gallo a 68 overall, still sitting with Bradford City, Selim Nasser 68 overall, Vukoja a 69 overall, Sasarik a 71 overall, Vasquez 71 overall, Frank Henry 71, Rinaldi at a 71, Galrekin a 73 overall, Arne Goossens at 73, actually turning out to be a pretty good player there. And then obviously the best of them all, Patrick Ennis a 77 overall at goalkeeper. So the reject list is coming along. Keep in mind, we will try and do a series after this where we kind of take the players that are discarded from Scunthorpe United, and we'll see if we can bring them to a team of prominence here in the future. So before we get into the season, we'll take a look at the board objectives, and finally we're up to a 78, and maybe, kind of getting ourselves up there as far as a manager rating and getting the board off our back. It's very rarely above a 70, but we've done well here. We have for youth development, signed 2 players to the senior team in the same season they were scouted, play them in 10 matches, so that might be tough just because I don't know if we're going to have anyone that we sign in that's going to be really good, but we'll have to see who we can bring in this year. We also have to grow 2 youth academy players by at least 10, and as soon as they've grown, play them in 5 matches. That's a little bit more realistic. We might be able to do that one. And then we also have brand exposure, which we already knocked off, getting our season ticket holders up to a 10%. No continental success. They want us to finish mid-table, so that's pretty realistic. And then the FIFA or the FA Cup, trying to get to the round of 16. We have not fared well so far, so hopefully we can do that. But obviously the main one's already knocked off with the brand exposure. Hopefully we can do the youth development as well, and no financial goals here for the season. So we'll take a look at the team sheets for the teams here in the Premier League just to see where we stack up. Obviously the back line here, that's pretty fair to where we are, a mixture of 70s and 80s here with Bournemouth. We have Arsenal, who won Europa League last year, all pretty much at 80s, so they got a pretty good team here. And Still some stars in there that you might notice. You have Aston Villa, who is still playing pretty well. They came up with us, so obviously one of the weaker teams, a good midfield, but we saw what they did last year on 100 plus points. Brighton is, pretty mixed, pretty decent team. Burnley is a 4-star. And then we have Chelsea, who is obviously still doing well. We have Pulisic and Mason Mount in there, so some players that we still recognize. We have Everton and Leicester City's in here as well. We have Liverpool, who is obviously a team to watch and a team to be reckoned with. I mean, that is going to be one heck of a matchup when we get there. We have Man City still with a lot of their same players, but a kind of a weak captain, a 75 overall captain. Kind of weird to see with Man City after they went almost unbeaten last year. Man United. We have Newcastle. And then Scunthorpe United here. We have obviously a really good defense, 80 overall, but we can definitely get some help in the midfield. We're going to give Bailey some training, try and get him up. We'll probably swap Cordoba for Marchenko, which will probably drop it a little bit, but obviously the attacking duo up top still very threatening here. Hopefully they can pull it off in the Premier League, and then we'll just kind of roll through here. And so one of the weaker teams, you think, but we can definitely still pick off some wins here. But we need to get going. We need to get going early and try and bolster this roster as much as we can here as we get ready for the Premier League. So that'll do it for us here in this one. We are ready for the Premier League, and we'll see what the future brings. We start off with Newcastle and Wolves. So two teams that we saw there, definitely could be, pretty decent teams. And then obviously we have Arsenal there as well. So we'll have to see how things go. Hopefully we can get some training in and get these players ready to compete in the Premier League, as the board wants us to get to mid-table. But that'll do it for us here in this one. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can always find out when the newest episodes are coming out. And until next time, have a good one.